For the last few weeks I tested out the new A7 III, Sony's so-called basic model, which is a beast of a camera. Now let's talk about my experience. By the way, if you're new to the channel, my name is Tom Streller. I'm a filmmaker, and on this channel I cover everything filmmaking related. So if you're into this, make sure to subscribe to not miss any upcoming videos. I guarantee you won't regret it. So I've been a Sony user for a little while now, and I just love their mirrorless cameras. I think they are the best option for young filmmakers out there, especially when it comes to functionality, price and overall quality. Since you can get exactly what you want and need most for your work, and by pushing out new cameras every few months, Sony always makes sure to stay ahead of the game. Now, earlier in 2018, Sony introduced the A7 III, which they actually called a basic model. A pretty affordable mirrorless full-frame camera that had all the nice features you would need as a filmmaker or content creator for just around $2,000, which still sounds a lot, but it's actually pretty affordable, especially for what you get. Now, after my recent test video about how the Sony A7 III compares to my old A6300, I want to talk a little bit about whether I will make the switch to the A7 III. So if you watched the comparison video, you know that I've definitely been impressed by how the A7 III performed. Not only were there a bunch of things that made the whole working experience just way better and faster than on my A6300, but the camera was just a lot of fun to use. But after all, the general image quality of my A6300 is still pretty good. It lacks a bit of dynamic range and sharpness in 120 frames per second, that is for sure, but in 24 frames per second, which is my regular shooting mode, the difference is really hard to tell. The image is sharp, the colors are great, and I'm really happy with the footage this camera can still produce, especially considering that I bought it used for around $700. And that got me thinking, because in the end I realized that switching to the A7 III wouldn't make my whole workflow nor my final product that much better. There would be some benefits, of course, like in-body stabilization, a slightly better menu system, a better camera body in general, and just the beautiful look of a full-frame sensor. But in general, I feel like it would benefit me more if I invested the money in something else. But don't get me wrong here, the Sony A7 III is definitely the better camera. It has more features and a lot of things got improved from previous Sony cameras, so that it's no surprise the camera is better in general. But I want to make clear that the A6300 is still a good camera. It produces really good images, it's really reliable and easy to use if you learned how to use it properly. And that is the key to every camera. You have to get to know your camera, and you can probably create amazing results with every camera you own. I know it sucks to hear this over and over again, but in the end, it's definitely not about your camera. I probably won't switch anytime soon because I don't feel like I've reached the limitations of the A6300 yet. There's never been a situation where I couldn't do something just because the camera's capabilities. And I think until this happens or the camera eventually breaks, I will stick to it a little longer. And that's my main advice to all of you young filmmakers out there who constantly think about getting a new camera, because this might make your videos so much better. Because it doesn't. If your filmmaking work is not good enough to get you clients, most of the time it's not your camera that's holding you back. You're just not as invested in the whole thing as you should be. If you want to be a filmmaker, don't just buy a new camera and wait for projects to find you. Always shoot and edit and practice when there's some time, and put your work out there. That's the only way you will eventually succeed in the long run. And don't worry about your camera too much, because there are other things that make you a better filmmaker. Like learning about storytelling, lighting, composition, and working with other people. So just take the camera you have, go out and shoot one project every week. Start a YouTube channel and let the world see your work, and document your process. This is the only way that will really make you better. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. Make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to see more filmmaking related videos like this one, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.